Welcome to your life and your opportunity, of making it great. If you see this right now, that means you made it to the 1 in 400 trillion club. Because if you see this, you're alive. Congratulations. Like a lot of people do poo-poo over like how terrible life is and their situation and I get it. Like, life's not perfect. There's always going to be ups and downs, but that's the thing. It's a roller coaster. There's ups and downs. We don't appreciate the ups if we've never been on the bottom. And when we think we're on the bottom, or if we are on the bottom, we think there's no way up when we clearly do, because we know we would have to know that there is an upside, because we would be able to see other people do it and compare ourselves, right? So this is like this comparison game where we're constantly trying to measure ourselves against somebody else. And sometimes it's also very unrealistic. Like, are you comparing yourself to the people that are directly in your environment, or are you trying to compare yourself to celebrities and like sports players and like movie stars and music people and so forth? Because that's not even fair to yourself. You're not being fair to yourself. You are essentially setting yourself up for failure by doing that. Now, is the comparison game normal? Sure, everybody does it, right? We always try to compare and contrast our situation in contrast to somebody else's. And we think our situation is unfair and woe is us, and why can't it be what this other person has? And, yeah, life sucks. Like, let's be honest, life sucks sometimes. Right? But we have to think about all the good stuff that also happens. And that's where people fail to look for those things, for those spurts of greatness that occur. Somebody, I don't know, it could be something as little as somebody letting you in the line, and you're sitting in a car and you try and move over to the other lane and somebody's letting you in. Or you're standing in the line at the grocery store and you have like one or two items and the person in front of you has like a million of them in their cart and they letting you go first. That's a great moment, right? Or somebody giving you a compliment because of maybe what you're wearing, how your hair is, or or somebody, I don't know, just holding the door open, whatever it is. It's those short moments that show that life has so many great things to offer. And if you sit there right now and you feel like you're all by yourself and there's nothing good and like your life doesn't matter, I want you to open your phone and there's two ways. I want you to look at two different, things on your phone. I want you to look at your camera roll, because you probably took pictures of something that is exciting to you, that you enjoyed. It could be the sunset, the sunrise. It could be like the last really great meal that you truly enjoyed. It could be a selfie of yourself of being in an environment that you really liked. It could be a picture that you took at a concert or some other event. Maybe it was a picture that somebody sent you, right? Or it could be a group picture. It could be, a picture of a person that you really care about. It could be a picture of your pet. Or then also want you to look at, who was the last call, the last few calls you received, who texted you, those are people that are in your life that care about you enough that they reach out to you. And if you say, well, my last text or call was from my boss and they wanted me to come in and cover yet again another shift because somebody else didn't show up, you know what? Look at it. There's two ways of looking at it. There's like, woe is me, here we go again. Or there is, people know they can count on me. People value my integrity. People reach out to me because I know I will do the right thing. So sometimes it's all about your perspective, how you perceive a situation to be. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that life is all about unicorns and rainbows, because it's not. We all struggle, right? We don't maybe always talk about it, right? We don't always share, because sometimes it's because we feel worse about our own situation, and sometimes it's because we don't want to remind ourselves of how crappy the situation is, and sometimes we just want to move on from it and we don't want to talk about it anymore. And because why? It's just only going to cause more pain. And so you have to make a choice at that point. You can either sit there and dwell in it and just drown yourself in the scenario and look for more things to confirm the reasons why you feel that way, or confirm why you were right all along and all your thoughts are completely validated. Then guess what? You will find that. You will find the validation. If you look for it, you will find it. So if you are in a crappy situation right now, then you have to look at it in different ways. You either like, yep, that kind of sucks, and you can come up with a whole bunch of reasons why it sucks and why you knew it would suck, why you knew you were going to end up in this situation, and you would be right 100%. Or you can say, okay, well, this sucks, and you can acknowledge it, and then you can say, okay, what can I learn from it? What can I do about it? And if there's nothing you can do about it, then you look for takeaways. What's the silver lining? Maybe there isn't one, and then you just still let it go. You let it go and you move on, because if you cannot change it, and there's this saying which is cliche, and it's cliche because it's true, but it is what it is. I know it sounds like very like such a defeat comment in a way, or statement, but if you cannot change, if there's nothing you can do about it, about whatever situation, at that moment, that right moment, right now, you cannot do anything about it, then you have to ask yourself, okay, am I just going to let it go, and I'm just going to move on, and I try again. I try again, pretend it never really happened. You just have to let it run off you, and or what's the takeaway? What lesson have I learned? Even if it's just one thing, maybe it's like, oh, don't hang out with this person anymore, or maybe this was not the right way to approach the situation, or my reaction wasn't the best, or maybe that other person's reaction wasn't the best. And, how can we prevent this sort of thing from happening again? It's really all you can decide. If you're gonna be stuck in that situation and just curl up and just be a ball of suffering on the couch, or you can say, or you can give yourself that 5 minutes to do that, and then you just need to snap out, because it's very easy to go down that rabbit hole and then find yourself almost like doom scrolling. And again, look for that confirmation bias. What you seek, you shall find. You're going to find more information to validate your feelings. So stop doing that. Like, you're in full control. There's like this thing where people just say, oh, social media is so bad. And, because you're looking for things, and you're going to find more of those things that you're looking for. So change it. You have the power to change the algorithm of things that you want to be put in front of you. So look for positive things, and more positive things will pop up for you, right? So woe is me is great for the moment, but you really can't stay there. You have to go through it. go through the cloud, the storm, the bad weather, whatever it is, and you will come out of it on the better on the other side. But it all depends on how you think about it, what your mindset is. If you think only negative things, then you find more of that. If you say, okay, what's the lesson learned? What's the point? What's the, what is the takeaway? What can I change? And sometimes you can't change anything, but then you need to let it go. You need to not dwell on it. Look for the good stuff, because they are the ones, those moments, those split moments in your day, in your week. And people are so easy to overlook those small things. Somebody says something nice, even somebody just says hello and smiles at you, wishing you a nice day. Complete strangers complimenting you on something, or your friend just checking in randomly, or maybe it's you checking in on somebody else, and that in itself is giving you positive friend just checking in randomly, or maybe it's you checking in on somebody else, and that in itself is giving you positive feedback. Feel good about that, because you just know that you made somebody else's day, moment better. You can give somebody else a compliment. You can be the one holding the door open for somebody. You can say something nice and really lift somebody else's day, because maybe they are having been put down all day long at their shift at work, and they had to deal with crappy customers, and you bring that light to their day because you come with a positive attitude, and you're going to be completely different than all these other customers that the person just had to deal with before you, and you will brighten their day. So if you feel stuck in a rut and you feel like you are just, woe is me, life sucks, whatever, then get out of that funk by brightening somebody else's day. Get out of that funk by brightening somebody else's day. Because that, if nothing else, will certainly do it. That, by just making somebody else's day better for that moment, to just put a smile on their face because you complimented them on, an outfit, or their perfume that they're wearing, or their smile, their laugh, their good choice of yogurt they bought, or the bag that they're carrying, or something. Brighten somebody else's day, and I promise it will make your own day so much better. Don't be stuck in woe is me. Like, if you're here, you are so lucky, because I'm sure there's somebody in your life that who got sick, who passed away, a family member, a friend, maybe a pet, maybe a teacher you admired, somebody, right? So you know how fleeting life is. So don't sit there and say, woe is me, life is so terrible, life sucks, life is this, life is that. And you just go down the rabbit hole of negativity, right? And it's so easy to do. But then think back and say, well, if the roles were reversed and you would be in the situation of that family member or friend or whatever who took their last breath, or is about to take their last breath, and it has to say goodbye to everybody. What if that was you? You'd be like, yep, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I'm so cool with not seeing another day. You really would be okay with that? Or are you going to be like, you know what? No, because there is this concert coming up in the summer I really want to go see. There is this movie that I can't wait, to go to with my friend. Or there's this new TV show, like season whatever is coming up soon. I'm really looking forward to. I know it's very superficial on one level, but look at, maybe it's the beach trip that you're looking forward to in the summer, or it's, your favorite ice cream shop, or, whatever tradition that you might have with your family, like, some gathering or whatever. It doesn't have to be this grandiose thing all the time, like it's just those little things that add up, that compound. So stop focusing on all the bad stuff, because that will only drag you down more. It's you just gonna put on more burden, more luggage, more weight, more everything. You just every moment is gonna get heavier and heavier and heavier, and you drag yourself on, and you leave like this deep trench behind you, because that gets deeper and deeper and deeper, because you're just like keep adding on those negativity and those negative thoughts and mindsets, and just like the cloud like accumulate, and the sky just gets dark, and it's just terrible. Why would you want to do that to yourself, right? Let it rain for a bit, and then let the rainbow come. The sun's gonna come out, the rainbow's gonna appear. Like, there is a sign for you to remind yourself that life is not so bad. And it's all about what you make it. Again, it's that up and down type of thing, but without having experienced the down, we certainly cannot appreciate all the great stuff that comes afterwards. And when we are in that point, in that situation where just everything seems to be so perfect, truly appreciate it. Be grateful. Say thank you. This is great. And your mindset is going to shift, and more great things will happen to you. And then when you are in that situation, make sure you pass it on. Make sure you share it. Don't be hoarding it all to your lonesome self, and go and be selfish. And you gotta share. The more you have, the more great things happen to you, the more you should reach out and share that with other people to brighten somebody else's day. Don't say, woe's me, life sucks, and all those terrible things, which we all do, right? And don't compare yourself constantly to somebody else, because that's gonna be your downfall. You gotta be content and happy where you are, and appreciate the things that you do have, things that probably somebody else wishes that they have, right? You're complaining about, you didn't get, I don't know, the latest and greatest pocketbook or backpack or the game console or whatever, but instead you live in a house or in some rental space, and you have a bed to lay into at the end of every day, and it's warm and it's dry, and it's there's going to be dinner on the table, and you're going to be with people that love you and who you love. And you compare about those superficial things when somebody else wishes they had those simple things that maybe you take for granted. Okay? It's all about perspective. If you look around and you're like, you know what? I do have all these things. And there's a lot of people who don't have all these things. So start there. Appreciate where you are right now. You can look to other people, and you can look to other people for inspiration, and you can say, you know what? Clearly, wherever this person is right now, they're so far ahead of me, but they're showing me that it is possible for me to also get there. So instead of looking at it from a negative standpoint of like, woe is me, I don't have what they have, well, look at that as inspiration to pull you into that direction and say, you know what, that person made it possible, I can make it possible for myself as well. So use that as a motivation, use that as a pull forward, and you're gonna fail. You're gonna fail so many times, but don't give up, because if it's something really important to you and you really want to achieve something, you're gonna find a way. So it's really up to you. So you can either hide in a corner and like be a puddle of, something, and just drown yourself and all of that, or you can say, you know what, enough is enough. Okay, I had my 5, 10, 15 minutes of woe is me time, and now it's time to get to work. Now it's time to make it happen, because you are the lucky one of 1 in 400 trillion. Like, you made it. You're here seeing this right now. You are already a winner. Like, the moment you were born, you already won the game of life. So what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? Let me know in the comments. What are you going to do with it? What's your dream? What is it that you want to do? What's your dream? Like, what is it? And then make it happen somehow. Say no to everything else and make that happen. Because what's the alternative? To just sit there and have the days go by one after another, and you're still stuck in that negative mindset and woe is me and so forth. What good is that going to do? If you're stuck, like, the best way to get unstuck is to take action, to do something. And if you don't know what it is, then just do something for somebody else. Help somebody else out. Reach out, give a helping hand to somebody, because that just being in motion is motivation all in itself. It's gonna make you feel, it's gonna light up not only the person that you're helping, but it's gonna light up something inside of you as well. And that is like sort of that sometimes that little spark that will push you further out of your little bubble that you put yourself in, and you think like you're confined to that little space that you created, when there's this vast world available to you. So like, make it happen for yourself and for others, right? Give to somebody else. That's gonna lift you up. And it doesn't have to be like a gift. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just say something nice. Give a compliment. Give a helping hand. Like, hold the door open, or pick something up if somebody dropped something, or, let the person in line in front of, let them jump ahead of you, or whatever it is. Give up your seat on public transport because you can see that person is super tired, has a lot to carry, whatever it is. Like, there's so many little things that we can do as long as we're aware. Like, look around. Don't just get stuck in your head. Get out of your head and get into life. That's the important part. Like, don't just be like, a participant in a way. Like, don't be like just a viewer. Like, really like jump in and embrace what's there, and elevate, even in the slightest possible way, your day and somebody else's day, because somebody else's day, that's going to elevate you automatically. It's like this chain reaction. And can you imagine, like, you're just like, you are the first domino, you made that first domino fall, and now not only is it going to make you feel better, but like, now everybody else is in a little bit better mood, and they're going to pass it on to somebody else. It's just like a compounding thing. And so if we would all do that, it would just bring so much joy to everybody else, and it's going to make everybody else's life so much brighter. So don't get stuck in woe is me, because you're already a winner. You're a winner because you're here. You are being born. Don't let that go away to the wayside. Life is short. You never know how many moments you are still given while you're here. Why waste them? Don't waste your moment. And your moment is now. And again here. And now again. Right? There's not like this one thing that defines us. It's a multitude of things. But it's up to us as individuals to not just make our life better, but making other people's lives better, because it will make our life better. And it's not always about monetary things. Sometimes it's just time. Sometimes it's just being nice, being kind. Those things matter so much more than just money or things, stuff. That's not what life is about. Like, life wasn't like, oh, you're born and now you have to chase after things and chase after this and chase after that. No, just be you, yourself, and be kind. Just be nice. You got this. Life sucks at times, but it also doesn't. Look for the things that don't, and you'll find more of the things that don't. Make a list of all the things that you want to experience, and just experience them. Start really small. Look for the sunset tonight. Look for the sunrise tomorrow. Look for shapes of clouds in the sky. There's so many different little things that we can appreciate as long as we are open to it. So be open. Be open to experience life on every level. That's what it's all about. Let me know what the first thing is you're going to do after this. I can't wait to see it in the comments, so let me know. Take care.